right, everyone. Here we are back at the onsen. Been a long time, but I'm your host Mazo, joined by co-host Siz.
Hey, yo.
And special guest NBT.
What up?
All right. So, jumping back into things, it has been a long time, about a year.
And why is that?
I moved back to Japan, and I'm really lazy and haven't gotten my shit together. Everybody else has been totally ready to go. I just haven't, and I handle some of the things that make this work. Not everything, but some of the things, so it's my fault. Just awkward silence. I'm waiting for somebody to be like, yeah, you motherfucker, it is your fault.
Well, we kind of knew about your situation already, so we already took out our anger, like, before this podcast.
Okay.
Sent you all the hate mails and things like that.
A year ago.
Yeah.
A year ago today. Actually, I think the date of recording is, like, the same as the date of the last post, if not as apart by like a day or two. Like it's been exactly.
Whoa, you mean like?
Oh, okay.
Okay, shit, yeah.
Yeah. It's been exactly a year. Like it'll be more than a year for obvious reasons when this goes up. But yeah, it's been a year.
Yeah, shit. I didn't realize it this long.
Yeah, I mean,
same.
To be fair to us, though, I mean there hasn't been a whole lot going on, I feel, because of how people haven't been able to like really tour the way they used to. It's been picking up a lot more in the last like 6 months or so, I would say. But compared to how we were able to do coverage in the past from overseas, just not as many opportunities.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know how much that would affect our podcast.
How much that would affect how fucking lazy one of us.
Stop talking shit, Mazo.
Yeah, so anyway, kind of got that out of the way. If you have any more questions, NBT will comb through every single comment and answer everything he can. So go on ahead, post away. With that,
yes,
today's topic, talking about how you discover new music, or music in general. I guess you can discover something from the 50s and it's not necessarily new to you though. But I want to throw this one immediately to Siz. Siz, how do you discover new stuff?
Honestly, it's been the last few years has been mainly Spotify has helped a lot find either music I'm not too familiar with or music I would mean to listen to but haven't got around to. I'm into like recently, like last few years, I would say I've been into like bass music, so Japanese bass music, so like whatever fucking Spotify calls it, kawaii future funk or whatever the fuck it is. But I've been into that a lot, and that's been really great to like find what artists I really like and whatnot. So
wait, so how do you find the new music in like using Spotify?
That's a good question. So basically, sometimes you'll just play an album. After the album finishes, it will just go on shuffle mode, and then when it goes on shuffle mode, that's when I'm like, okay, I'll leave it to play. If there's a song I like, I'll just press the heart and save it, and from there I'll be like, okay, let me look at the artist's other stuff, and then it kind of just builds up from there, really.
So when you heart like a song, I guess that will boost the algorithm so they know exactly what you like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, most definitely. Spotify, and then if it's anything outside of Spotify, it's normally like my own research purposes. So like I think during pandemic I thought now is the time to like listen to like older 90s VK bands. So I went through like Malice Miser, I hadn't gone through properly, Fanatic Crisis, Lacrima Christi and all those ones, and then went through like other ones like Well, I don't even know how to pronounce it. I always forget how to. Rentre and Soy.
Don't even worry, man. I mean, their fans already hate you for trying.
But yeah, so I like little bands like that. So basically,
like those were all the popular bands like back in the days.
Yeah. Back in the days. Oh my god, it's so long.
So basically looking at like popular bands and bands that I may have missed when real like flashback was when Last FM used to like play music on it. We used to just play like I want to listen to like Visual-kei, and then it would play like it would just do a shuffle of all the like Visual-kei music on there, and it would almost be the same. Like that's a one way. That was years ago by how I used to like discover music, and that's how I found like bands that I'm some of the bands I listen to now. And other than that, it's either bands I'm following now, and then that's it really. But apart from new music,
So something interesting to me with what you said is now you listen to this something bass kawaii something.
Yeah.
So like in the past, you weren't listening to this until the algorithm was like, "Hey, check it out."
Yeah, I was listening.
I know you like it. That's the algorithm talking.
I think what happened was I was listening to Moe Shop, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is really good, really fucking good." And then from like Moe Shop, I think it shuffled a few other artists, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I actually really like this." And then over time, I was like, "Okay, this is the genre for me now." I was like, "I'm just gonna go look for like the other artists in the genre or whatnot." So it's kind of literally like the last few years I'm just like, oh yeah, I love this music now. So.
That's pretty cool, like that you got into a whole new genre, not just more of the same and a few different bands, but a completely different genre. That's like, if I'm understanding correctly, kawaii bass is not like metal as fuck, right?
No, it's like really like bass EDM, like bass music, like Neko Haka's another one, I guess.
Okay.
Like, kind of like I checked like every so often. I checked that actually because of an article with, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm the only one who covers Neko Hackers.
Yeah. No, but it was a Japanese article with they had an interview with like a band member from Dimlim and I think Kazuki or whatnot. So so it's either I either find it from interviews or from like and I guess another way is Twitter. Like I'm always looking for like what new VK bands are like forming or whatnot. So I always want to like keep up to date. And that's another thing. And like another thing is shout out to VKG because they do like Spotify playlists like every month of like new music.
You know who else does Spotify playlists?
Who else does Spotify playlists?
Good question.
JROCK,
can you tell me?
JROCK News.
Because I don't know.
Also does some Spotify. Recently, I've done some Spotify playlists. I think it's stuff. I'm not sure what the setup is. Do you know?
Yeah, it's
about this MBT?
Yeah.
Yes, so we did release I think we have 2 Spotify playlists currently. One is a 2022 kind of playlist that covers like highlight songs from last year. Then we have a top 25 anime like opening and / ending theme songs playlist. But how as it stands right now, we are looking to add more because we had people interested in pursuing that stuff. So we hope to get more stuff out there and recommend awesome music.
Yeah.
Check it out.
That's a plug.
We'll cut the ad there for now. But
that's basically it really. It's funny because like also Pale Dusk like released like 2 songs last year that I really liked. I think BBB and I forgot that one. But that had
I feel like Pale Dusk is mentioned like everywhere.
Are they really?
And like honestly, like recently, I think they're gonna. I think they've either toured Australia or going to tour Australia. So I think they're getting pretty big. But
they're going to the UK.
Are they? Oh shit! I didn't even know.
Yeah, Pale Dusk is one of the ones I've been interested in for a while. I've listened to a bit of their stuff here and there, but I've never committed to getting an album. So, I haven't. I'm waiting to see him live one of these days because I know it's going to happen.
Yeah. See, the problem with Pale Dust is I've listened to and that's another thing, like over the pandemic, I was listening to metal bands that I feel like I should know a bit more about or like don't know a lot about, and Pale Dust was one of them. And if I'm honest, I'm not a big fan of their music, but just those 2 songs were like my favorites, and I was like, so they got, it's only just those, but it's only because like another artist from like the bass music community, I guess, featured on one of the tracks, and I was like, okay, damn, I'm gonna check this out, and it was sick. So
okay, that's pretty interesting. So like a collaboration helped you out too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, NBT, do you want to go next?
Maybe.
I'm just wondering how different yours is, because I know from like discussions we've had before, like not on recording, you really like to mess with the algorithm and AI type stuff, from my understanding. You like to see how the machine can analyze stuff and be like, you know what, that's a lot like this.
But that part is... So that part with the analyzing thing is done locally on my computer.
Okay.
Or my server, rather. So it's not like it's picking up things that are outside of my library.
Okay.
So I do actually play with the algorithm, but it's in the opposite direction. I'm trying to avoid the algorithm.
What?
Sorry, what did you say?
On your own terms, basically.
Yes. So, for example, I don't do any social media, so I'm more of a RSS guy. Example, I will spare you the technical details on how this works. But, for example, I follow a lot of artists from Japan, but since I don't use social media, it's quite like pain in the ass to even use. What I've done is that I create like feeds to my RSS feed from all of the artists' Twitter accounts, and then just filter it like if like they post something that is a media, so a video or a photo, or if they mention like album, EP or something like that. It's a very specific feed that filters out all of the like typical Twitter tweets. Yeah, the noise. Exactly, the noise.
Does that mean you miss some artists then sometimes if they don't mention those words, then you just miss it out completely, right?
Yes. So with some artists, because I set this per artist, this filter. So if I know an artist like basically never posts tweets, then I basically don't filter that artist, because I'll just capture everything because it's not a lot of noise. But how I actually discover music, these days, it's more like curated. For example, the websites that I download music, because I don't really do streaming. I'm using like services like Rekuchoku or like Ototoi. And those, especially Ototoi, is... I think they call themselves like a music, like online music magazine as well, because they put out a lot of articles of Japanese artists. So they basically have a team of people who are writing about Japanese music as well, just as we are doing. And recommending like all the good shit.
Yeah, but we do it in English.
Ooh. Ooh. It's fancy. Fancy talk.
I see.
Listen, if we did it in Mandarin, we could say we could get it to more people, but...
Okay. So next is Spanish then, I guess.
Yeah. If we do JRN ESP, there you go. If we can roll them into one big ball, we target the world, basically.
ESP is like copyright us.
Espanol, not ESP.
Not ESP. ESPN. But like in the past, I did use like YouTube a lot to find like recommended music and things like that. But these days, I don't directly use YouTube anymore. As I mentioned, I can subscribe to anything just using RSS. So I don't have to interact with YouTube directly. When I do interact with YouTube directly, and I have like a proxy, so it filters out like the recommended and the comments and things like that. So I only see the video, for example, and that's to avoid the algorithm.
Okay, I was not aware of that. Like, I knew that you like the data analysis, and I had the impression that you used Spotify quite a bit, but I didn't know you made it so that Spotify wasn't, ruling your choices.
Actually, I quite like Spotify in terms of like discovering music, because I do have to interact with Spotify sometimes. For example, when we talk about music on our website, and we have to link to Spotify, and I might use Spotify to preview some albums before I actually buy them. And,
that's fair.
Yeah, so basically I do interact with Spotify, but not it's not my primary music player. So sometimes when I listen to something on Spotify, it's as Sis said, and track ends, it will shuffle to something very, very similar, and they're really good with this, Spotify. And sometimes I also see like these curated playlists, and these are done by humans. I find them quite good actually as well, the ones that they recommend. And I recently found out about a electronic composer that does Vocaloid music. So his name or their name is Ste Aka, so like throwaway account. Ste Aka. That music is like, I don't think I would have actively gone out and owned this, because it's EDM.
Yeah,
it's not something I typically like go out my way and just like actively search for. But it was kind of like EDM, but like math rock. But if you make the math rock melodies into like electronic,
I'm gonna have to check this out because that sounds crazy.
I mean, some of the songs are like that, but like that's kind of like how I felt about it.
Okay.
And so essentially nowadays, it's like, to summarize how I find new music, it's typically curated, and even if it's done by the algorithm, it's curated playlist. So I kind of like that more than the algorithm doing like all of the work.
I forgot to mention, but yeah, YouTube is another one. But yeah, YouTube is, unfortunately, the algorithm is like fucked for me, or like maybe for like other people, because it just sends me the same few artists, and I'm like, well, this doesn't really help me discover. But yeah, that's it really.
I feel like part of that might... I feel like part of that might be that YouTube is more than music, right? So the algorithm just doesn't get it the same way.
Yeah.
You just don't get it. Like, yeah, people like you are really also into Sonic the Hedgehog memes.
So what about you, Mazo? Like, how do you discover new music?
So mine's real boring, real simple.
Yeah, do you discover new music?
Not often. Not fucking often. It's fucking sad. Like, I'm still a 14-year-old boy watching the Gazette's Filth and the Beauty. Like, this is the coolest thing ever. But was I 14? But so for the most part, when you recommend stuff, the Siz or NBT, Afania, anyone recommends anything in the recommended channel, if you haven't recommended anything from that artist before, I'll check it out. Usually dislike it, sometimes really like it. And aside from that, like friend recommendations, if a band plays with another band I went to see, that's it.
That's it. So no algorithm.
I fucking hate the algorithm more than anything. And it's because I don't even know if they're around anymore, but back when we still called it the Great War, I tried out Pandora. And I was listening to Dir en Grey, and they were like, you know what? You might also like Five Finger Death Punch. And I'm like, nope, I don't. And then, a song or two later is like, you know what? You might like Mozart. I'm like,
okay.
What? Exactly, right? You like the unplugged version of whatever song, so try this song for size. So yeah, ever since then, I just don't try the algorithm at all because, I mean, back then the data sets they were working with were so small, and the algorithm itself sucked. Man. Yeah, and it was Pandora, but I still just don't trust it today because you know how there are. Okay, I'm gonna get into some dicey territory here. You know how there are racist people?
Never heard of racist.
So I really I say only, but there's always exceptions. But I really like Japanese music because when Japanese is sung, it's sung in a way that does not sound the same as when you sing in English. I don't think English singing can ever sound like Japanese singing. Even if you take a Japanese song and translate it and make it match every freaking syllable, it's not going to sound the same. The rhythm 100%. Is different. Everything's different. Thank you, sis. Thank you.
But that's kind of like why dub also sounds so strange. Like, it doesn't feel natural, at least to me.
From time to time, there are a few things out there where I think the dub isn't necessarily better, but it adds a different kind of flavor to whatever it is that you're watching, where it makes it okay.
I think we talked about this in the past, but like Japanese music always end with like a vowel, for example.
That's true. I didn't realize that, but maybe that's part of what it is. But yeah, it just doesn't sound the same in English. That's not to say that there are no good English language songs, and we've all heard our fair share of excellent English songs. But when I'm listening to Dear on Grey, I don't want to be told, you know what, metal band from Utah, just like them, dude, trust me. Because they might have a lot in common with maybe the things they're singing about, maybe the tuning or, distortion, and all number of things might be the same, but the way the voice comes out at the end is going to be different. And you can argue that they're screaming anyway, like you can't understand it. But he screams more beautifully.
Honestly, a very good example of this was like, I was listening to Darren Gray's Ouroboros, but I got the international edition, so the like those in green and glass skin are in English.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fine.
Yeah, I was thinking of glass skin as well.
I'm completely fine with like those English versions, but the Japanese versions are completely different. Like when I listen to it, I'm like, what is this song? I don't know what this song is because I've just listened to the English version. So,
Well, one of the interesting things about them, and Kyo in particular, is some of those songs that have the English lyrics, like sometimes live he'll just change them to Japanese even if there's been no official album release of them being in Japanese, and the lyrics aren't even always exact translations. He's just like, this is what I meant.
He's ad-libbing.
Yeah, it's really cool. That's one of the reasons I suggest people go see them if they get the chance. Like, you never know when that's gonna happen. Like the new release of Mazoist of Decadence, I forget which album it's on. I don't think it's Phalaris. It might be, though. But that recording of it, the lyrics are totally different from the original. Not totally, but there's a good part of them that are just different. There's also a release of a live rendition of it, and yeah, the lyrics are just different. He'll just do that. He'll just be like, all right, I'm changing it today. Let's deal with it. And it's like, I will deal with it. This is nice.
I know Rookie from the Gazette, he changed the lyrics on this song Cassis. I think they basically fixed the grammar issues on that one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it was in the remastered album, or best of. No, I forgot if it was a best of.
It's the best of, but it's really like a muddy ground when it's like best of album, remaster, recreating, So yeah, I completely get it.
With frosted ambience.
Oh my gosh, it is frosted ambience.
Okay, good. You got that one. I never understood why that song is. That's Ain't Afraid to Die, right? Ain't Afraid to Die with frosted ambience. Like, what? Who comes up with these names?
I mean, sometimes I think that like these names could be like initially in Japanese, then they just like, I wanted this in English because it's cooler.
Well, there's that, and then there's the, randomly hearing an English phrase and being like, that sounds cool, and throwing it on something. And, it happens the same with English. You hear a random phrase and name any other language besides English, and you're like, that sounds cool. But, like, it's not as cool as you thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean...
I hear that.
I'm thinking of these Japanese t-shirts when they have like English on them. It looks good, but it's like it's kind of like a stupid phrase or like has no meaning.
Well, the ones I don't get is like, like you said, like weird phrases or meanings, or like you see guys like elementary school boys like with shirts that say cute girl on them, and it's just like, why?
Are you hanging around in the park?
I'm not hanging around in the park. I walk around town from time to time. I live here, so I see the children. I'm not looking for children. Stop.
Wow. Accusations.
Oh, there goes an ambulance. I'm sorry. Hopefully it didn't get picked up. I mentioned to you guys before we started this recording, just so the audience knows as well, in case I can't get everything out of the recording. I live literally on a highway now that has, I'm maybe like a block away from a hospital, so...
You live literally on a highway where cars just go right through your...
Oh yeah, they go real fast. They go real fast. But here's the plus side, and everyone I tell this to in Japan is like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" I'm like, "No, it's not." From my balcony, I can see Tokyo Tower and Skytree.
But okay, wait, okay, is that the amazing part or the highway?
I don't talk about the highway.
Okay.
I don't want these people to know how I live.
Initially, I thought they reacted to the highway.
No, right, yeah. I live on a highway. Oh my god, that's amazing.
That was amazing.
Yeah, every now and then I hear car crashes. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, do you see them like? How tall is the building where you live in? Like,
I'm on the 5th floor. It is the top floor because I'm super poor.
It's pretty Japan. I guess that would be pretty like how do you say, like low?
Yeah, it's pretty standard. Looking around my block, there's like a few buildings that are like 8 or more floors, but most of them are 4 to 5.
Okay. Do you want to summarize the way you find
music, let's get back on topic. So, for the most part, as I said before, either I get recommendations from other writers or other people that I interact with. That can be meeting a dude at a bar or something who's like, oh, you should check this band out. And aside from that, when I go see a band, because I get a lot more opportunities now, the opening acts, the whoever plays before, sometimes after, but sometimes I leave after the band I'm there for is finished. But, whoever else is there, if I get to listen to them and I enjoy them, then I might buy that album while I'm there. And that's how I find my stuff. It's very
for you, it's
organic.
Like more direct interaction. I feel like, yeah.
Like I shake hands with them, I buy them a beer, and they're like, "I can't understand anything you're saying."
I mean, it's quite like a big hurdle to just get into your music library if you're an artist.
Yeah, it definitely is. You need to
shake
approaching
hands.
me?
You need to talk to you.
You need to shake hands with me. You need to prove that you're fully devoted.
You have to like lick your shoes and things. Like,
Whoa, man. Actually,
Whoa, what?
Bottom line, I would say, is either, like, I don't have to meet them, but either I hear you live because you happen to be playing with somebody I already like, or a friend of mine tells me about you. So it's very organic in the realist sense of organic.
I basically buy music like in bulk, typically like once a month or so. Like for you, it happens like once a year. It sounds like.
Well, not now. Not now. In the past, it was a lot. Well, which one I rely on more depends on which one I have more access to. So last year, I had more access to the staff. This year, I still have more access to the staff, but I have more access to bands out here because I go to maybe about one show a month, sometimes more. I go to at least one show a month. It's usually a GazettE show because they're awesome, but I've gone to other shows now from bands that I've heard while going to their shows, or I've gone to other shows for bands that have played alongside Hone Your Sense or Choke. Like it's like expanding, and I'm losing more and more money, but it's expanding.
I feel like Hone Your Sense, Choke, and GazettE, like they typically form with similar bands, right?
For the most part, yes, because other than GazettE in particular, because I don't think. I'm trying to remember if those bands have played with GazettE. I know that Choke, Hone Your Sense, and World End Man all played together, but I can't remember if GazettE was...
Just to get it out there, like, these bands are, like, quite metalcore type of bands.
Yeah, they're heavy. Well, Choke, we've covered some of their stuff. Look them up in our site, but they're like trap metal is what they define themselves as. So there's a lot of rap going on there. They're very, very interesting. I don't think we've covered World End Man. They're very, they have a very Western feel to them. They're very heavy, very death metal. And then GazettE, I don't know how I would classify GazettE, but they're very good, and I really like GazettE. Death metal? Yeah, maybe. I mean, their shirt on the back of it claims that they are Japan's angriest band, so... Or if you were lucky enough or unlucky enough to get the misprint, they are the angriest ban.
Oh.
Ban.
Yeah, they lost their D. I was waiting for somebody to laugh. Somebody cut the D straight off of them.
What's the drummer? Is the drummer still there? I don't know.
Actually,
I have a drummer, right?
Never mind. But yeah. For the most part, those bands do tend to play together. But that's kind of like the algorithm, if you think about it. The algorithm's like, this sounds similar to this, try this. So that does make sense that those bands would at some point play together because they are similar. They're going to have similar fans. They're going to already have people in common. It just works out that way.
Yeah, that's the...
It was like second-hand algorithm.
Algorithm. Yes, it really is. But I mean, it's not like I only ever go to metal shows. I will now and then do other things like for like EDM stuff. No, it's not even... I don't find new EDM by going to electronic.
But you're going to miss out on a lot of other type of music, as you mentioned, like EDM, and also like the more, maybe not mainstream, but the artists that plays in bigger kind of venues.
Yes, because they're hard to get
casual.
Into. Yeah, you're
exactly,
right.
So.
You're right. Like, for example, Sim. I saw Sim in America. I can't see them in Japan. It's just not in the stars. Like, it's not going to happen. It's too hard to get into one of their shows. But if I could see them what was that, Sis?
The shows sell out a lot?
It's not that they sell out. I can't confirm, but they tend to play really big venues. And it's usually a lottery for their tickets. So I would assume they sell out, and I just don't feel like going through the process. You may or may not have heard some of the drama with the way tickets are done in Japan, but like every now and then it gets worse or better. There have been proposals.
Ticket drama isn't really specifically like targeted towards Japan.
You're right.
Everywhere.
But their ways to counteract like scalping and stuff can be very harsh for people visiting the country or not fluent.
Right.
For example, some of the measures they've talked about implementing are making it so you have to have a My Number, which is like a Japanese equivalent to the American Social Security number system. I don't know what what you have in Europe or Sweden or anything, but it's like a thing you're essentially assigned at birth that's like, this is your identification. You know, tourists don't have that. People visiting for a couple months or whatever don't have that. So it makes buying a ticket impossible.
That's why we see all these ticketing like services that do... they are basically a proxy. Job itself isn't like anything like technical or specifically hard, but it's just that they need someone to have that My Number thing, right?
Yeah. It sucks, but also it prevents, for most people at least, it prevents, you know, reselling of tickets at ridiculous rates, like, you know, Taylor Swift.
So I mean, your purchase is tied to a specific person. So,
yes.
So it's not like you can create, I guess, like 100 accounts and just like join the lottery and
that's
stuff.
Another thing too. I didn't even think of it that way. You are correct. Yeah, the way that bots could just buy up all the tickets immediately and then nobody has tickets.
I'm thinking that because you do a lot of interactions with the artists to actually find the music, then there are a lot of fields where they don't even perform. That kind of music is gonna be hard to get by. For example, say like Vtubers, like the Vocaloid metal artist. In the past, he never done any like he didn't do a lot of like live shows, but now he has a band that is called Ohio Gozaimasu. Now he goes around and plays at live shows, but say Vocaloid producer, he would typically just DJ, even though he's a metal composer, because that's typically what Vocaloid producers end up doing, because they don't really play all the instruments live themselves, because
Can't
one
do
person.
It's one fucking guy. He's got 2 arms, 2 legs.
Yeah. So what I mean is that you probably miss out on a lot of the Doujin stuff then.
Yes and no. Because here's the thing. I have exclusive access to our special guest, NBT. So whenever you put something up there, like, I'll see it. Like, that's again, I have friends with tastes beyond mine. Like, that's one of the benefits to that. Don't be alone, people. It sucks for more reasons than one.
It's profound. Don't be alone.
But yeah, like, I get the recommendations from you from time to time. I mean, like, I know, I pick up stuff from watching different animations, openings and endings here and there. Those can range all over the place. But, like, just look at Yosei Teikoku, right? Like, I like them. I listen to their stuff. I look into them more.
To clarify, that's basically an anime band.
Yeah, pretty much. They do. I mean, they have their albums that have no songs that were featured in anime, but they're very well known for their anime coverage. But looking at them, like, if I research them, I find out who their members are.
Which one is the most famous one?
Which one is the most famous one, song-wise?
Yeah.
Probably
What
Kuso
anime?
Nesorogi, or however it's pronounced, from Mirai Nikki, Future Diary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's their most famous song. But you look into them, you find out that at one point their guitarist was Shiren, and he's in the Doujin scene with Unlucky Morpheus. But are they really that Doujin anymore? Like, I feel like they're a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah, I mean,
they're like, technically speaking, I believe they are still Doujin, as in the sense that they produce their own music and sell. Yeah, exactly, self-published.
Because that's what Doujin means, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
people think it means pornography, but
I think that most people who interacted with, like, Doujin, like, their first-hand experience was probably something naughty. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why they think Doujin means like is equivalent of something like pornography, pornography. So it just means self-published.
Yeah, exactly. That was always my not always, but that's been my understanding for the longest time, that it does just essentially mean self-published. But yeah, so, you get Unlucky Morpheus, and then, say, I haven't, but say one day I go and I see a small show Unlucky Morpheus does, well, then I find another Doujin artist. Like, I'm not locked out as much as it might feel like.
The thing is, when they play with other artists, it's typically not Doujin artists, because Unlucky Morpheus is such an established band. They have like members playing the instruments and things like that. But a lot of the Doujin artists don't have resources or assets to start playing live. So I think it's gonna be difficult to find bands in the Doujin scene through live shows, because most of the time they don't play live.
Well, that's why I got you, man.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. So now you're putting pressure on me.
Yeah, find me the good shit, man, because I can't.
But you guys, now that like the YouTuber stuff has like basically started booming, or like it is booming, have you guys looked into that part yet?
You know what?
In terms of music.
So the other day, I think it's I can't remember her name, but Suse? I can't remember her second name. And I listened to...
I know which artist, the blue hair.
Yeah. I listened to her song for like the first time on my first take, and I was like, oh shit, this is actually really good. Like, I was surprised, because I was like, I normally associate, unfortunately, I only like associate like VTuber stuff, especially from like the bigger groups like Hololive or Energy Sun, like with like pop music and not so much rock. So when I heard Suse, I was like, oh shit, this is sick, like this is really good. And I think there's like another EDM artist I listen to that's also like a VTuber, but I can't remember. My head is not there. But yeah, no, that's the only how far I've gone, unfortunately, because other than that, I'm not really into it, I think. So,
like, as you mentioned, a lot of the association with VTubers are like that they're in the pop kind of scene. I did find like artists, VTubers such as like Alba Sarah. She is a fan of Yu Yuppe. So that's the metal Vocaloid producer who has done a lot of like songs from Baby Metal, for example. So there are some YouTubers that are really into that kind of like rock scene, in the Japanese rock scene. And then we also have like Futakuchi Mana, as you guys, especially Mazo, is aware, likes a lot of like rock music and metal music.
Yeah, Futakuchi is an interesting case, though.
Yes, definitely quite unique compared to like most of the VTubers. But then I have gotten into some of like the pop type of music from the VTuber scene, but just the music. I don't really follow any like streams they do.
Yeah, it's a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I completely understand.
I'm with you.
I asked my friend like, so do you follow like your favorite VTuber streams and things like that? She was like, yeah. But nowadays I don't even watch anime or like follow
my God,
series, because that takes up all of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've always wondered about that, especially like foreigners who like I say foreigners, but like English speakers who like Japanese language VTubers who like actually watch their Japanese live streams. Like, you have to schedule your life around that, essentially. And you probably don't understand 80% of it. Like, what?
I think the ones she follows, they all speak English. But I don't know about their schedule, though. They might still be in... I don't know.
Like, yeah, you can't... I tried to get into like multiple, like, it's not, you can't get into multiple, like, you can't watch all of them. It's so impossible. Like, you have to be either really rich and just not do jack shit, or you just follow one because I was like, oh, this is so much.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, you wanna talk about waifu? Like, she is your life at that point, or he. You know, like, your life revolves around these streams essentially. Whether or not it really is that way, but to be honest, if you're trying to catch all of them, you are pushing stuff around to catch those streams, and they're long.
Yeah, I mean that's why they're called VTuber idols. You know, it makes sense when you have that connotation. You're like, oh yeah, that checks out.
Do they call them VTuber idols? I never heard the combination of idols.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I mean, according to Sis.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
you could be. I've never heard it, but I don't know that much about it.
Yeah.
I'm only into the music itself, so I don't really know like the rest of it, to be honest.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I only watch like clips now and then of certain people, but back to what you were saying with them doing music, I didn't know that many VTubers did music. I can understand it as a good way to debut as like a singer or something, but like doing metal, it's kind of surprising to me.
So the ones that I mentioned, Albacera is from a project from Sony Music Japan, and the project is called Verse. They have like an N at the end, like Verse N. I don't know how you actually pronounce it though, but basically that was, I think, their first dip in the water when it comes to VTubers. I haven't seen that much come out of it, like in terms of like because a lot of the VTubers right now that are big have a presence in the scene, but the VTubers from Verse, even though they're from Sony Music Japan, I haven't seen the names out there as much, really.
Yeah, there's obviously the indie side to VTubers, but I've not really heard of like indie VTubers like create music or release music as of like yet, but that's probably down to resources as well. So
yeah, definitely. I mean,
Futakuchi Mana is indie.
Yeah,
but she has more presence than the ones that I talked about. Albacera, who is backed by Sony Music Japan.
Well, I mean, being backed by a big company is one thing. Like, they can pay for, so much. But Futakuchi, she gets attention not only because she's, VTuber and moe anime, and she's bilingual. And on top of that, she's covering a certain niche.
Yeah. And she doesn't want to be called a waifu, I believe.
She's against all that auntie. Stuff. Yeah, she's against all that stuff. All the ones who are honest people say that, but
what was it that she
women
called
are
her
objects.
fans?
Just kidding. What'd you say? Oh, imps.
Yeah, so not simps, but
yeah, exactly. Like, I get where she's coming from. A lot of like other types of content creators I enjoy are like, please don't do this whole like I like you because you're a girl and thing. I get it. I totally understand where they're coming from, but in a lot of ways, for a lot of the fans, it just fuels that kind of thing because it's like the step on me harder kind of thing.
Okay, so you wanna talk more about your fetish?
All right, since we're all here. No.
Let's scatter around.
but yeah, that's the whole VTuber scene. There's scenes everywhere, but in the biggest of hopes, in all likelihood, I have at least one friend who's into something dealing with it, and that's where I get my stuff from for that particular thing. But when you were talking about the VTubers, I mean, obvious, like I said, there's the anime that I watch and other stuff, right? But I also play rhythm games a lot. I enjoy them. And Mori Calliope, one of her songs, is on one of my actual favorite rhythm game. I don't love the song. It's okay, but like it made me aware that like VTube music like is a thing.
Oh yeah, I guess you're talking about Trinidad. And
you better believe
basically,
it.
they have like categorized the music as well. Like they have like when you start playing the game, they will have you pick a song, and basically they have categorized the songs as like I believe like anime, and then there's like Nico Nico,
Yeah,
which basically more or less is like Doujin related. So it's pretty nice to see the wide range of music that they have.
I mean, I really only go into the Nico Nico and the anime stuff, to be honest. But that's where all the
that's why I only
degeneracy lies. And I only know about that game because of you. You were like, I want to try this. And I was like, this has some good stuff in it.
It is really nice, the music.
Yeah. They recently did a big update, though, and they got rid of a lot of songs. That was a little sad.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, but they kept a lot of like the good stuff, but they got rid of a lot of the heavily licensed stuff. Specifically, the anime pop section got really messed around with.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. The anime pop section, you typically see a lot of like Lisa and like all of the big artists. So maybe...
Yeah, some of those went away, and like some have been slowly coming back too. I don't know exactly why, but yeah.
On a similar note, I actually recently picked up Project
Diva.
What's it called now? the Hatsune Miku game.
Project Diva, isn't it?
Project Diva. Yeah, it just fell out of my brain.
It happens.
I picked up Project Diva on PC, and there's a lot of good songs there. But what sucks is that they don't really add any new songs to it anymore.
Oh, maybe someday. I mean, I used to be a big Bandori fan, but I haven't played it much at all recently. But yeah, that's another avenue. Games, any kind of other media I consume, I'm going to find something through it at some point.
It's so funny you say that about video games, honestly, because like I got into like Western music because of video games, like literally got into like
Devil May Cry.
Because yeah. Well, like even like Devil, like the theme song for Devil May Cry, like I got really into and I've never played that game, honestly, to be honest, but I just heard that song and I was like, yeah. And then I got into like My Chemical Romance
on the newest one.
I know, yeah, but I was already following Hyde beforehand, so I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. That's like a winner for me. So it was cool, and obviously like One OK Rock, like they
One
done,
Ok Rock,
like,
One Ok Rock. It's One Ok Rock.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. But
One Ok Rock, is that the Western band?
Yeah, the Western pop rock band.
Yeah, the Western pop. They're them, you know. But they weren't always like that, obviously. But yeah, they done the opening or theme song for like the DMC Devil May Cry game. So yeah,
well, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
either. Look at us doing our jobs.
You can see that on JROCK News too. But
www.
They done that. I know they recently done one for Sonic Frontiers.
Yes, so. I knew about that one. Yeah,
which
exactly.
Because I didn't realize obviously, and I was like, oh, they've got like a Sonic like logo on there or whatever front page on the video. So I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So there's
you didn't realize it.
No, I didn't. I was like, oh, I know they got a new album coming out. Okay, I'll listen to it. And then I saw the video and I was like, oh, I didn't know it was like the Japanese version of Sonic Frontiers. That's cool.
Yeah, that's definitely another thing too. Just like other types of media that I consume, I'll run into stuff on there too. Like it always happens. Yeah. Like there was a indie Japanese movie I watched a long time ago that had a song in the menu for the DVD by a band I had never heard of, and I have to this day never found that band. But like, you know, like I liked that song. Like it made me want to try and find them. And later on, actually, the sequel to that movie had a lot of GazettE music in it.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the B movies. Like what do you call it? Like those really badly done ones.
Hey, like, man.
Gory.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah. I mean, Without a Trace was used on one of them.
Yeah, that was Hard Revenge Millie. That's exactly what I was talking about. Such a good movie.
Yeah,
I love that
that
the tagline for it, because it's called Hard Revenge Millie. The tagline was, she likes it hard. I was like, fuck yeah, she does.
not the bad movies, but the cheesy movies.
Yeah, there's some charm to that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, like, speaking of animation and, like, you know, other forms of media getting you into stuff that you normally wouldn't, like, you know, the algorithm and other things have gotten you guys into stuff. Yofukashi no Uta got me a little bit into Creepy Nuts, so...
Oh yeah. I love the... I mean,
Creepy
there's
Nuts.
a song with the exact same name.
Yeah, the song has the exact same name. Yeah, it's a great song.
The anime title actually came from that
these
song.
nuts.
Is that true? Because I thought the manga existed before the song.
So the manga came out in 2019, I believe, and the song came out in late 2018.
You probably.
I mean, sometimes there are cases like that, right? But yeah.
So the song
the band is in the anime.
as well.
They are in the anime. They appear as characters, like not
so the
constant
thing is,
characters.
The author of the manga was a big fan of. I was gonna say these nuts.
Creepy these nuts, you know.
Creepy these same thing.
So the author asked for permission if he could use the title for his manga.
Okay. I hope we're not spreading false information, but I trust you.
Trust myself.
That's good. Only one you can trust, for real.
but yeah, I actually got into Creepy Nuts because of that anime as well. I typically don't listen too much rap, so yeah.
Yeah, that anime is financially ruining me. I just today got a figure from it that was too much, but I'm looking at it right now and it was not too much.
I mean, saying that, actually, like, back when I used to watch like a lot of anime, that was my main like source of like finding new music. Like listening to the openings of like random anime, not even like beyond the like when I was beyond.
Oh, come on! You must have got a new world from Bleach, right?
I mean, yeah, I did. Yeah, of course.
Everyone did.
But that's
I never liked Bleach. So.
You never want to admit it, and you're just like, yeah, I did. But oh well. But yeah, no. Everything like beyond like the shonen, the main shonen like Naruto and Bleach, and that's when I was able to discover like a whole like range of music.
You guys hear Kickback?
Yeah.
No, go on with your thing though.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Like that's how I got into. I guess that's how I got into Link Toaster Shikura.
Yeah, like, that's another good one.
From what's the anime?
I guess the entire world also got into TK, the vocalist from the Link Toaster. Unravel.
Like, okay, I didn't even get into Unravel like at all, but I got into like another one of his songs from what is it?
I want to say Psycho-Pass, but I'm not sure.
No, it's Psycho-Pass is from like Link Toaster Shikura. That's what I was thinking of. But
okay, that one's not TK.
I got into TK through.
I always confuse them.
What is it? It's some gang like anime. I can't remember the name, but that was really that's how I got into him. And then basically I've gotten into like I've basically taken like songs from artists and basically just listened to that song and then that's it. But yeah,
thinking like Mazo, you're kind of like a music genre kind of a circle. Is it just like metal essentially?
Metal is my focus, but it's not the only thing I listen to. I also listen to, you guys talked a lot about EDM. I'm not big on EDM. I like dark synth for some reason. I don't know why, but It's mostly rock, metal, rail, and that's it.
Rail,
she's got a special
place. A rainbow.
Yeah, she's amazing. Actually, one of the bars I go to really frequently, one of the bartenders loves her, and like when I come in, he's like, "Hey, you hear that new song?" He gets all excited. He's like, "None of these other people in here know how cool we are."
It's something similar happened to me when I went to Harajuku. And it was a clothing shop. I think it was, what was it called? ABC Market or something like that?
ABC Mart's a shoe store, so probably not.
Mart, okay, so yeah, it's probably not that one then. But...
probably AC/DC Rag.
Yes, that one. So essentially, one who was in charge of the store, she was like... playing JLKB in the background. And I was like, "Oh, this is JLKB." And she was like, yeah, you like them? I was like, yeah. But then my Japanese failed. Much further.
She's like, how long have you been listening to him? I don't understand.
My Japanese is a lot better now, so I think I can hold a conversation these days.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've like been like, I connect to people because of music or something, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And they go off like saying something. I'm like, I don't understand anything you're saying," and they're like, "Oh, that's nice to meet you."
It's total like, like you have your icebreaker, but then it just like shatters like the entire conversation.
Shatters.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so true. Yeah. Well, we've been on this for a little bit now. There's a motorcycle gang passing by. That's awesome.
No, we don't hear it.
Well, you may not hear it, but it may come up in the recording. So, jeez, guys, calm down. Tokyo Manji gang out there.
Jeez Louise.
But anyway, we've been on this for a bit now. I think we've, in some ways, I'm a little surprised. We do have some kind of methods that are similar when it comes to random media we consume, affecting some of what we find and how we find stuff. But I mean, I think I'm the Captain Organic over here. Siz is a little more into the algorithm, and NBT makes his own algorithm.
Organic, so you're a little like soy boy.
I'm organic, all natural. Like, my fertilizer is from the cows, and like only the finest of soy. I mean, just better than you.
Yeah. Totally vegan as well.
Yeah, hardcore vegan. Oh, dude, vegan metal bands though, like they go hard.
Futakuchi is vegan.
Yeah, why do you think she goes so hard, dude? They don't get any meat, so they're just always angry. Like I still remember. I think there's a band, Cattle Decapitation, I think is what their name is. They're vegan metal, and like. I've been to... Really? Yeah. I've been to my fair share of, like, hardcore shows in the States. I say my fair share, a few. And, like, I've seen pits. I've seen some brutal pits. I've seen some vegan metal pits. That's another level. Like, those guys are trying to kill each other. Like, it is insane.
That's like a big contrast from their lifestyle.
Right. Meat is murder, but I'll fucking kill you to this fucking awesome breakdown. Like, it's nuts.
I'll fucking kill my animals, motherfuckers.
There goes our monetization.
Oh, dude, I was swearing at the beginning.
Yeah, I said shit as well, so I don't give a fuck.
Shit, fuck, who cares?
We did it.
Oh, now you done it. But yeah, I mean, do you have anything else you want to throw on at the end here, Sis?
Shit, on it.
Oh, he's got to yawn real quick because he's fucking bored.
Shut up. No, I think I covered basically everything. All right, that's fair. Special guest, anything from you?
Yeah, I just want to say it was a nice hot bath after year. So
Yeah.
I haven't taken a shower since then, so
Disgusting.
finally cleansed.
Disgusting.
Yeah, you know it.
You're in the
Yeah,
same
I know.
bath, man.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
man.
It's all the same soup.
Don't remind me.
We got the MBT seasoning, man.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. All right. Well, it's been an honor, boys. Hopefully, I mean, we understand our schedules a little better now. Hopefully, we can get something again soon. I'm not sure how soon because, the editing process takes a little bit. But, hopefully we'll be more regular than we have been in the last chunk of time.
No.
All right. Well, I've been your host, Mazo, with co-host Siz. Nothing? You're not going to say anything to play us out?
Oh, I did say something, but
it didn't.
It was too good.
It was too good. The mic didn't pick it up.
No, just see, read my articles. And
Please.
yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening and reading JROCK News.
.com, www. We're on Spotify, by the way. And
Oh,
special guest, NBT.
We'll see you on the internets.
Yes.
Or not for MBT, because...
Oh yeah, he's catch him on that RSS feed, boys.
We'll see you offline.
Yeah.
See you on the flip side.
Aim
Suck
from that
these
song.
nuts.